Now, from the studios of Into Tomorrow in Miami, this is ITTV.
Next up, joining us from Munich, Germany, a guest who brings us a product that improves society's health and fitness by using innovative tech, that's what got our attention, and the power of gamification. He is the Sports Tech Innovator, he's an author, and he's the CEO of a company called Fun with Balls. That also got our attention. Markos Kern. Markos, welcome Into Tomorrow. How are you, sir?
Hey, Dave. Perfect. We're slowly anticipating summer here, hoping that lockdowns finish soon.
Oh, yes.
And super happy to be on your show.
Well, thank you. We're delighted to have you with us as well. And this is another one that you've got to come to intotomorrow.com and check out the video as we discuss this with Markos, not just to see Markos, but to see the product that we're talking about and how Fun with Balls plays an important role in society's health and fitness. Tell me about Fun with Balls, and then let's get into the particular product.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I mean, everybody notices the name. It's so funny because people always think that coming from Germany, it's a mistake that we sort of have a double meaning. But to be completely truthful, we knew that we're attacking quite a big problem, and we always knew we need attention first. So having a little giggle when you hear our name is fully intentional in this case. No, we started the company because we want to combine gamification and sports obviously has a massive problem in a lot of different regions, whether it's participation or just our own discipline to actually pick it up each day. And so we thought, why not make it much more fun and make it like computer gaming and turn the problem into a solution?
And that's awesome, because when you see the video that we're showing and going to show much more of during this interview, you certainly can get that big picture, if you will. It is Fun with Balls. It is an opportunity to be active. And I love the fact that, yeah, it gets people's attention, and that's what counts in the long run. You know, I've said on the air many times, it's like sex. Now that I have your attention, I just have something to tell you. You know, it has nothing to do with it. But everybody goes, what? You know, it works, and it's a great marketing move. The whole revolution of classic sports and fitness in general, has that been a revolution, do you think, during the pandemic? Have there been opportunities for people to say, you know, just because I can't go out doesn't mean that I shouldn't be active, even in my own home? Is that kind of what got you guys more motivated as well?
Well, we've always been planning to launch a B2C product as well. Before that, we've been building systems for sports halls and all sorts of facilities. Corona obviously helped us to push the B2C a little bit faster. And I think in some case, I probably wouldn't call it a revolution, but there's a gigantic shift in consumer behavior happening because people are realizing that these amazing products like Peloton, Swift, Tonal, Mirror are finally at the stage where they become manageable in a nice way. So it's not like they become convenient enough, so they actually find the way into your home. And it's been a solution for a lot of people. The big question will be, what's happening after lockdowns are lifted? Are you still going to be sitting on your Peloton bike 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a week? Or is that a very, very expensive coat hanger that you bought?
Yeah, wow. And hopefully not, because of the investment that you may have made in some of this equipment. And of course, when you mentioned B2C, for those not familiar, that's business to consumer, because now we're talking about, while you've been taking care of sports complexes and arenas and bigger scenarios, it is time in your company's time frame, Fun with Balls, to say we need to do something for the home, for the consumer. So tell me about this particular new interactive Limbic Active, Limbic, Limbic Active, also.com. But what does that mean, Limbic Active?
Well, the limbic center in your brain is basically where your motivation is born, or where your endorphins are. Like, this is where the good feelings come from. This is where good behavior is being rewarded. This is where you feel butterflies and when you fall in love. So we took that because everything that we experienced the last 4 years, especially with sports halls, is once we bring together gamification and sports in the way that we do, the whole element of discipline, the whole element of you should train, you must train, turns into let's have fun for hours and just be completely immersed in this fun activity. It's like gaming, just It's 100% full physical workout. And we always wanted to bring that into a much smaller form factor that actually enables us to bring it into your home. So it's been a lot of pretty high-tech development. And when we had it together, we were looking for a name, and Limbic is always something that's been with us because actually comes from the research side. So this is literally like, what is the human organ that we try to attract with our products? It's a limbic system. So it was naturally to just call it Limbic Active. And so far, we're very happy with it.
Wow, I think that's terrific. And you're right about releasing endorphins and just being active. And it's so much easier, especially when folks talk about how difficult it is to do any kind of exercise. I mean, there are those, you're probably one, that loves exercise. And
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay, good. Me either. And you can tell by looking at me. But
that's why I came up with these products. I'm my best client. I hate going for a run or doing exercise just for the sake of exercise. You can chase me to hell with that.
Yeah, good point. Touche. So it's much better, I think, for most people, if not all, to have more fun with whatever exercise you're doing. You brought up the Peloton bike, for example, and because they have a screen and a coach and come on, we can do this. We're going to go up a hill now, whatever. It's also distracting you. You know, I'm on my treadmill most mornings, if my doctor's listening, but I can't be on it if the TV's not on. You know, I just can't. It's like I just can't do that walk. So if you can do something that's fun at the same time, oh, and by the way, it's also healthy for you, but we don't have to admit that, you know, then you want to do it, and you want to hopefully do it more. So no doubt this is where your system comes in handy for a lot of people to say, I'm in.
Exactly. I mean, the basic functionality of all our doing is always the differentiation between a push and a pull relationship. Is it like an extrinsic motivation or an intrinsic motivation? And this is what computer gaming, esports, Netflix, and Amazon Prime are extremely good at. It's the full intrinsic motivation. You just get lost in it for hours. So we just try to translate that into a much healthier and much more positive element of getting you to work out. And so far, like I said, think of it like teaching it to a young kid. Nowadays, you have to tell kids they have to go to training if they want to become good. Turn it around. Let them want it.
Yeah.
And you win the game.
Oh, good point. And usually for younger kids, it's not a problem. They want to play sports. Well, if you can get them off the computer and off the game systems. But the fact is, they can be, and they want to be generally more active. Certainly in years past, that was the case. Let's hope it is again. But what makes the Limbic Active so revolutionary, especially now from a consumer standpoint? And at the same time, I want to make sure with our radio audience, those that have yet to see the video that we're talking about here, how do you describe the system?
Well, generally, all our systems work with sensor technology and motion tracking to basically take all the information that your body has and objects that you throw, or a tennis racket, or even just a big like soft stick, or any form of ball that you can throw. And you throw that to a wall, and this is where like very sophisticated computer games happen. You can shoot monsters, but you can also do very high frequency and high intensity assessment and training and volley training with tennis. And what we do in big locations is that gets into very sophisticated pro training. With Limbic, we basically created a system that brings all that sensor technology in one box. So we created our own little LiDAR sensor that tracks a wall. So you just attach it to the wall, you attach a projector, you can have screen sizes from about 2 to 4 meters width, and that becomes a very interactive touchpad. And at the same time, we have all the information of your body, meaning like we have that interactive touchpad. We can tell you, throw with your right hand this ball to this monster, otherwise it's not going to die. We know exactly how hard that will be for you, because given the angle, you will have to run pretty fast to get the ball after it rebounds. So all that comes together in like, it just looks like fun games, but the complexity behind it of what works and what we actually know you can achieve and what not, data tracking, analytics, leaderboards, then becomes this whole immersive experience where normally we see people, okay, cool, I'm going to try it. They're going to watch it, they're going to like it, and then it's like, come on, try it. And it's like, yeah, but just one round. 45 minutes, the same people are still stuck there, and they're going to tell you, okay, just one more round. Okay, no, wait. This one I can, okay, just wait. We'll finish in a second. Just let me. And that's how your brain loves things. This is how you learn. You're in the flow state, like you're deeply immersed in what you're doing, and you don't notice the hard part about sport. You don't notice the 200 burpees that you're doing while you're trying to fly a plane through a canyon. You don't notice that your arm is completely sore because you've always been throwing and catching balls over and over and over. And this is how we push you a little bit above the line. That's where the good training happens.
So that one round becomes a very long one round, perhaps, but that's a good sign because you're motivating people. Now, you said, Markos, that you know everything about the body. Are we wearing sensors of any sort, anything like that? I'm also, again, thinking of the radio audience first, yet to see the video, imagining this LiDAR scenario and a projector. One of the things that I loved, I interrupt myself because there's so much to talk about here, is that you could play tic-tac-toe with a ball on your wall. I mean, that kind of thing, whether you're throwing it or kicking it or whatever. I mean, it's different. It was motivating. And I could see where people can say, yeah, I'm in, I'll do that. That sounds like fun. Maybe I'm going to be winded after the second or third tic-tac-toe round. But it's a good way to say, look what this can do. And then, my gosh, as you mentioned, flying a plane through a canyon, we're exercising, but we don't realize it as much. And that makes it more fun.
That's exactly down to the point. So to answer your first question, no, you don't need any extra trackers. We love VR, but it's nothing for us because we like to be in the real reality. We like real objects. We like real complexity, no Bluetooth trackers, no extra. We track you, we track the ball we track any kind of ball. You can throw a cricket ball, a tennis ball, a baseball ball, whatever you want. You can even, some people play with stuffed little animals because they don't roll away.
Well, also it doesn't put holes in your wall. So I guess if you do a stuffed animal or a fake snowball foamy thing, then no problem. Don't be throwing softballs or baseballs unless you have a very strong wall, I guess.
Some people do that actually in their garage. Like we even have videos of people like throwing like baseballs from like 20 meters away into their garage onto our systems just to prove that they have good aim. So the applications are very, very wide. Obviously, we recommend as soon as you have neighbors to use the soft foamy balls because they're also not as loud. But like I said, what we always love about this, and just like you said, even a very simple game of tic-tac-toe, once you introduce a physical element to it, like a ball, the complexity in terms of learning, cognitive skills, and coordinative skills, motor skills, hand-eye coordination becomes so high that sometimes people even play our games and they're like, literally, they can't catch because they're focused on the ball, on the wall, stepping. But it takes very, very few minutes and you fully, like, your brain just gets used to that. And that's also just apart from the physical training, it's a very, very, very good mental workout.
Oh, it seems like it. I mean, I'm already mentally working out and haven't even tried it yet. And it seems like that's really what differentiates Limbic Active from Peloton or Mirror or some of these other things that have you involved and distracted in a good way. But this is real activity here. This is moving around and not just stationary bicycle, for example. And that's what I think is going to motivate more and more people. And I say going to because this is a product that is available how soon? Not yet, right?
Well, the bigger systems that we already have been on the market.
Yes.
Limbic Active is now launching July, August. We might even have the situation that we bring it a little bit further to the front. So we might launch a little bit earlier.
Nice.
As you know, Germans are very careful. So depending on how Corona goes with our supply chains, latest July, August, it's going to be on the market.
Terrific. And hopefully, fingers crossed, earlier, because I can see this happening. Now, the next question, obvious, how much in US dollars are we talking about? Because people listening are already getting motivated too. They're already in the mental state of, all right, I'm in, I want to do this too. We have to second mortgage the house to get it, or how does that work?
No, we're now targeting a price of around $1,200 to $1,300 for the system. You also need a projector. Most people have projectors by now. Then again, about $200-300 you can already get a good projector today. We're going to price it. The final pricing decision will be just when we start the production line.
Gotcha.
We have a couple of pretty good pre-order deals. I mean, we started on Kickstarter where we had like sold quite a few, and they started around, I think, $900, and they were gone right away. So we're thinking about a new pre-order batch maybe for some, or even just putting pre-requests in. So probably next week we have some good updates for that.
Terrific. And of course, you'll keep us informed as well, because I'm anxious to tell people. So you need a projector, but as you mentioned, $200-300, you can get a really good projector. But otherwise, everything else you provide, right? The Limbic Active system has the LiDAR you attach to the wall. Then all you need is a wall. Hopefully without a bunch of pictures and everything on it that are going to get knocked down as you get more and more active. So beyond that, you're good to go. Yeah.
Exactly. And it works with all sorts of objects. The funny thing is we already have, like, some of our beta clients already use the system, and they completely leave away the balls because they only love the motion tracking. So they actually have a TV and a wall full of pictures, but they don't throw stuff because a lot of the thing is also movement, and you can just tap the wall and so on. But yeah, the system it's only this big. I don't have a prototype here, only the small one. The other ones are up there. Okay. Everything is in there. So you have the speakers in there, you have a lighting in there, you have a computer in there, it has Wi-Fi access. So you need nothing else except a projector.
Wow. So it really is a system. It's not just one little thing you're attaching to the wall for $1,200-1,300. It's a full system. Yeah. In your book, The Future of Sports, you claim that sports will change fundamentally. What does that mean? How do you see sports changing in general?
Well, we already see the biggest change of sports that ever came, which is the change in numbers. And if you now look, especially at sports participation, a lot of sports are growing still, but most of the sports have massive problems with participation and also with viewership and attention span. Even soccer, like the biggest sports in the world, like there's never been more kids in soccer school below 13 than today, but there's been more kids in soccer school with 15, 16, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, because that's rapidly declining. Parents are still putting their kids into soccer school, but nobody wants to follow up, because if you look at the digital offering that is around, flying a drone, Netflix, Amazon, like all these amazing things that you have, Fortnite, League of Legends, this just works with our brain, just like this amazing thing works with our communication. We're used to a different pace. Picking up a tennis racket on a Saturday afternoon, going alone to a tennis center to meet the 60-year-old guy that's going to teach you a nice swing for 3 hours. That's not an attractive offering in 2021 compared to downloading Fortnite, where all your friends are hanging out and 60 million are playing right now. You want to join? So sports has to fundamentally change the way that this product or this lifestyle or these values are actually lived and played. Otherwise, participation is going to go down. And it's simple math. If you just project what's going to be happening with the decline in participation, even big sports are going to be having massive problems in 20, 30 years.
Wow.
And at the same time, tech enables us to make everything so much more engaging, fun, and work on retention.
Well, Markos, you are fun to talk to, and the company Fun with Balls, I get it, and I absolutely understand the whole, not only marketing concept, but what you do and what drives you guys to do what you do. So we invite our audience to visit your website, limbicactive.com. It's LIMBIC active.com. You can also visit funwithballs.com because there's other stuff there too you'll get a kick out of. But the fact is, we'll get you there too when you visit us at intotomorrow.com. Come see this video for sure if you're listening on the radio and not yet watching the video. You have to see what we're talking about and why I'm even motivated, and I hate exercise of any sort. What do you mean physical activity? Yeah, right here, I pick up a pen. That's physical activity enough for me. But I want to play tic-tac-toe on the wall with the ball and my grandson or something. I mean, that has got me motivated. And the $1,200 or $1,300 is a different story, but I know, like anything else with technology, prices come down as well, and you're going to sell so many of them that they become very affordable. So we'll certainly stay in touch, get you back on the show again and talk about it. What's next for you guys with Fun with Balls? I mean, I know this is the main thing, but what are you working on around the corner and into tomorrow that might be also of interest to the audience?
Well, Limbic Active definitely is the big thing that we're working right now. Even the most experienced people that look at it can imagine that there's so much more hidden in this product and in the way that we can actually enable it for a multitude of different applications in the physical space. We also, our B2B business is just picking up really nicely again. So we're like helping schools, community centers, like all these amazing locations that have the problem of having high traffic and people moving by, not being active, to basically just have them move by while they're being active. We're also starting to work with a couple of governments. There's a couple of cool things coming up in the US, and there might be one or two more sports that we might tip our toe in the near future.
Very good. Well, Markos, we wish you well. And again, stay in touch because we want to help let our audience know as things develop even further into tomorrow. Limbic Active, Limbic active.com. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us from Munich, Germany. And we'll stay in touch by all means.
Most definitely. It was a pleasure being on the show, Dave. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Again, limbicactive.com for more information. Intotomorrow.com is where we want to meet with you. So do join us there. I'm Dave Graveline. We continue bringing you further into tomorrow, right here on the Advanced Media Network.